It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse. WCPT. WCPT.
This the coldest sports show. You were getting the hour from 6 p.m. to 7. Chillin' with Lauren Cox and the man Marvelous. Shout out to Mr. Rouse and the Italian style. You what sports is the only politic.
WCPT. WCPT. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse.
That ball hit hard, deep, way back. He looks up, you can put it on the board. Yes! 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 Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Oh, he drops the ball.
Jerry, 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 Jerry.
Here they come! Here they come! Get out of the way! Here they come! Watch out! Sox Nation! Here comes the train! Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Sox Nation! Here comes the White Sox, ladies and gentlemen! Oh my God! That's the Sox train! You want to jump on? Now's the time to get on it, ladies and gentlemen! Woo! How about the White Sox? And of course the Cubs too. Oh my goodness, the Sox train is rolling through, rolling through. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, Sox train. Jump on. Wow, that's a long train, Marvelous. That's a train. Oh my goodness. How about the White Sox? Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. We're streaming live on Facebook. Broadcasting from the illustrious studios of WCPT 820 AM in the beautiful, beautiful city of Chicago and the outstanding neighborhood, the north side of the city, Jefferson Park. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. Let's get to our esteemed panel. Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. He's fantastic. He's outstanding. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday Night Baseball over at the Friendly Confines. Full house capacity. Yeah. He's in studio. Instead. Not at the Friendly Confines. You love him. He's known as the Marvelous One. He's Dan Marvel. What's up, Marvel?
Hey, how you doing, Jerry?
How are you?
The White Sox, 17 out of 19 against the clawless Detroit Tigers. They've 41-24. They're 5.5 ahead of Cleveland now, and they're only a half game behind Tampa for the best record in baseball, and they can correct that tomorrow night.
Yes, indeed. And we almost got another no-no from Carlos Rodon.
Absolutely. It was beautiful pitch game by Carlos again. So yeah, it's unbelievable. The White Sox are a juggernaut.
I love them. And the scary thing about it is they're not 100%. They don't have a full unit yet.
I mean, neither are the Cubs.
Well, we'll get a chance to talk some Cub baseball as well, because the Northsiders are playing Sunday Night Baseball over at the Friendly Confines on the north side against their heated rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals, and capacity.
Oh yeah,
capacity,
beautiful.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the fastest hour in sports conversation. We want you to be a part of it. Our number here is 773-763-WCPT, 773-763-9278. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, along with the Marvelous One. And ladies and gentlemen, we got to say, White Sox baseball, that was a train. Get on the Sox train right now. Did you hear, Marvelous? Did you hear, Marvelous? Let me tell you something. I'm ecstatic. I'm elated. The White Sox are playing Hellfire baseball. What are they reckon now? Like
41-24.
41-24. 17 games over the 500 mark. And they're, hey, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Adam Engel, he said, hey, lady, this is our motto. This is our new motto. It's 40 man up, man. 40 man up. 40 men. In White Sox uniforms, or if you want to say the South Side uniforms. You love the little South Side little jersey. Marvelous.
Yeah.
Oh my God. 40 man unit. Next guy up. And they're doing their thing, man. The White Sox are doing their thing. And here's the scary thing. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the scary thing.
Yeah.
This White Sox team, they get healthy. Let's say around August, late August, maybe even early September, depending. It's going to be ugly.
And today they rested their regulars.
It's going to be ugly. Ugly.
They rested most of their regulars today to prepare for Tampa.
Yeah, they certainly did. It's going to get. Remember the 1983 winning ugly team?
No.
You remember them?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah. I remember the drop ball by Brant Brown in 1998 that you had the audio from, too.
I'm not talking about 1998. I'm talking about the 1983.
Just tell you, I even remember. Okay.
Winning uglies.
Sure.
Chicago White Sox.
Oh, yeah.
This 2021 team,
Yeah.
it's still 2021, isn't
Right.
it? It's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
It's going to get ugly. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get a chance to talk to Lamont Pope. He's the Chicago White Sox beat reporter for your Chicago Tribune. He'll be joining us shortly. He was over, I think he was at Comerica Park to take in the festivities, but I know I heard him talk. He asked a question to Tony La Russa in the postgame presser, but we'll get a chance to talk to Lamont Pope about the Chicago White Sox victory, the sweep of the Detroit Tigers, and of course, as you said, 17 games above 500, and what we can expect throughout the remaining, about 100 games or so?
Yeah. Funny thing is, 60 games was the whole season last year.
And that's the thing.
That mark now.
Yeah, I certainly want to talk with him about that as well, because I think, look at the injuries, not only with the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs, but all across baseball.
Yeah.
And I think last year, that shortened season, what did they play, 62 games or whatever?
60, yeah.
60 games last year?
Correct.
I think it's having an overlap effect on what's going on, what we're experiencing now. And if it continues to trend the way it appears that it is, I think we talk about the warmer temperatures. It's been warm here in the city of Chicago, 80 degrees, 90 degrees plus. We see the temperatures continue to rise. I think you're going to see a lot more injuries when you talk about late June, July, August.
Yeah.
You talk about the dog days of summer, because I think the pandemic, it's an overlap effect on what is going on with these players.
There's been a lot of hamstring injuries.
Yeah. So I which is interesting, because Luis Robert, he tore his hip flexor, his hip, right?
Yeah.
Running to first base.
Right.
Nicky Madrigal, he did the same thing, running to first base. There's another player I can't remember right now, but I saw highlights of him running down the first baseline and pulling.
Yeah, I think it was
at
on the Cubs side. It was Horner.
Yeah, I didn't see him. It was someone else, but Nico Horner.
Yeah.
So something is going on, and I just look at it and say it's a residual effect from the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. I
could be wrong, but I could be right. We want to hear from you. Our number here is 773-763-9272. 773-763-WCPT. Cubs Cardinals over at Wrigley, Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Cubs are on hot, and the Cardinals are cold right now. And right now the Brewers are the hottest team in the division. They're the one, and the Cardinals have dropped way down. Mm-hmm. So there was talk. They spent a lot of time in the Fox game yesterday talking about if the Cubs are buyers or sellers. They're buyers now. They're not sellers anymore. There was the big talk about the free agents,
right?
About Rizzo and Baez and Bryant, but they're not gonna get rid of them now.
You don't think they're because they're having this early success now?
Nobody ever sells when they're in first place in July, and it looks like they will be very close to first place.
But do you think it's like smoke and mirrors? Remember when the Bears got off to what did they get off to, a 5-1 start or something like that?
Right.
And Matt Nagy, 7-1 start. Matt Nagy is like, yeah, we're, it's puffing his chest out, whatever. And then, of course, the trains, the train fell off the tracks. Are the Cubs flexing their muscles because, 60 games into this thing?
What they're going to try to do is probably get another starting pitcher is what they need. But
is it smoke and mirrors?
No,
do you think?
It's been unbelievable, actually. They've gotten contributions from people from the minor leagues that were unexpected. Alcantara and Wisdom. Right. So it's unbelievable. The people that have gone down, they filled them in very quickly with people that were unexpectedly successful.
And it's interesting that you say that. It's a simple fact that it's happening on both sides of town. That each club, respectively, the Cubs and the Sox, it's the utility players or the not everyday players who are stepping up.
Another function of the pandemic. Maybe the minor league players had more time to work out and get better. They didn't even have a minor league season last year. Yeah. So these guys all they had to do was work out at home, pretty much.
Yeah. What I understand is Wisdom was stroking it in the minor leagues, and no one knew of him, no one saw him, and kind of similar to Mercedes.
Yeah.
He was a 10-year journeyman in the minors, but the fact that he was able to work on his hitting and work on his swinging and his concentration and focus, he kind of slid under the radar. Sure. And these two guys are doing exceptionally well at the top level, at the highest level at the show. And it's to me, it's going to be interesting to see how all this stuff unfolds because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
And even Brian Goodwin, all of a sudden with the White
Sox.
God
bless him. Yeah. God bless him. Hey, whatever the case may be, we want both sides of towns. We want the both fan base to support their team and be out there and represent Chicago. Represent Chicago. That's the way that I look at it. And I know that there are very few of us in this great city. And I heard the great Mayor Lori Lightfoot said it's the greatest city on the planet. And congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, everyone, a round of applause. A round of applause. All right? Why do you say that? Because we've reached phase 5. We can take off these masks.
Okay.
Listen, we can take them off. We can take the mask off. I went to church today, St. Joseph the Work. I went to church, and I'd say 30% of the parishioners, the congregation, had their mask on. Everyone else is like, hey, but, we did the sanitation, rubbing our hands together, all that stuff. But congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who've got the vaccine, and we're moving forward. Congratulations, we've reached phase 5. Now, let's not get too crazy out here now, all right? Let's not get too crazy. But it was great to see a packed house at Wrigley Field at the friendly confines yesterday. And, of course, the Cubs are going for the sweep against the St. Louis Cardinals. But it was really refreshing, exhilarating to see all the fans packed at Wrigley Field to take on this rivalry. So I hope, and of course the White Sox will be in town for sure, but I just commend everyone here in the city of Chicago for doing your part, for looking out for your neighbor and your family members and your brothers and sisters, and doing what you needed to do for us to get back to some sort of normalcy. We still got a long way to go, but congratulations, and of course the players are feeding off of it, and we want to say congratulations to Chris Bryant, who will be playing in his 800th game over at when the Cubs take on the Cardinals over at Wrigley Field later on tonight, Marvelous.
Yeah, 800, and he's come back to life. Last year he was a paltry 206 or something in the 60-game season.
Yeah.
And now he's over 300.
Yeah.
So he's back to his 2016 form.
So, the thing that I say about Chris Bryant, and I've grown a little bit more fonder of him. Initially, when he came up, and I know that there was speculation about when Theo Epstein and the Cubs wanted to move him up because of time and contract and all that good stuff. But I wasn't a real big fan of Chris Bryant. I thought he was, and I knew he was good, but I thought there was a little bit too much hype going into this rookie phenom. For the simple fact that he was playing for the Cubs, and the Cubs, they know how to market. So I wasn't a real big fan of Chris Bryant, but over the years, I've gained a lot of more respect for him, his game, his personality. But I think what has happened with Chris Bryant is the fact that he's matured. And I can tell you, and you sure can too, Marvelous, when you have a kid, it changes your whole life. It changes your whole perspective on life. And I think that's where we're seeing, because when you're, your partner, your spouse is pregnant, you're distracted. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. I don't care what the hell's going on. If you're married and you're having your first kid and your wife is pregnant, you're done. Your performance at work you're done. But people they give you the benefit of the doubt because they're like, oh, the poor sap is, he doesn't know which way is up and which way is down. So Chris Bryant, he had a lull in his performance over at the friendly confines. Cub fans want to throw soda pop cans at the television. They didn't understand. Chris Bryant's like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. Now he has the kid.
Right.
He loves his kid.
Right.
He loves his wife.
It's beautiful.
And now he's on cloud nine.
Sure. Well,
he's on cloud nine. So
his son was born April 2020, and he married his longtime girlfriend Jessica Delp.
Yeah. I mean, life can't get any better.
Yeah.
You won a World Series. You're MVP. You're playing for one of the greatest franchise in Major League Baseball. You're playing in front of possibly the greatest fans in baseball, and the Cub fans. You're like, hey, you got paid. What the hell? You're looking for a new deal.
Sure.
Hey, take care of me.
It was amazing. In 2015, he was reassigned to the minor league camp in order to gain an extra year of control, and there was a threat of litigation from the Players Association, and I don't think that rule's even been changed.
Yeah, and we don't go back, but I mean, congratulations to the young man, and I've gained a lot more respect for Chris Bryant, and I hope nothing but the best for he and his family, and I hope the Cubs can continue to, and David Ross, Grandpa, dude, the stretch that they had the first 2 weeks of this season, the Cubs suck. They marvelous. You and I, we probably could have batted 300 better than Javi Baez and Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant and anyone else you want to throw in there. We probably could have batted better than what they were doing. They were terrible.
Absolutely.
But they turned it around.
Yeah, Baez still is interesting. It looks like he's swinging sometimes, and he isn't really, just swinging for the fences instead of trying to just make contact.
He had no discipline at the plate.
Exactly.
Like zero. Yeah. He had no discipline at the plate. But ladies and gentlemen, we transition to definitely. Would you say they're the hottest team in baseball right now, the Chicago White Sox?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're certainly the hottest. I mean, funny thing is the Cubs are pretty hot, too.
Yeah. You know what? This is Baseball Central. It's Baseball Central. It really is Chicago. It's Baseball Central, and we got two of the best teams in the major leagues. Right. And I got to tell you, get out of the way, Marvelous. You going to get on?
I know.
You getting on?
Yeah.
You getting on?
Woo-hoo.
Come on. It's coming.
Yeah, there's a big test, though.
It's coming.
One of the other hot team is the Mets. And
no, we don't talk about the Mets.
Right.
We don't want to talk about the Mets.
That's what the Cubs play 4 games.
We're talking about the Southsiders.
And another Tampa.
We don't want to talk about Tampa. We're talking about the Southsiders. This is the Sox Nation, Sox train rolling through, baby.
Just pointing out they're playing tough teams this week.
Hey, listen, the White Sox. That's all we want to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, he covers your Chicago White Sox for one of the historic newspapers in the world. He's Chicago White Sox beat writer, Chicago Tribune. He's on our TRS60 hotline, ladies and gentlemen. He's a friend of the program. He's Lamont Pope. Lamont, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Great to hear from you. How you doing?
Hey, man, I know you're in the media. We doing good. I know you're in the media, but I know the fan side of you jumping on that Sox train, aren't you? You jumping on that Sox train.
I mean, they've been playing it's been incredible just to watch what they've been able to do, particularly given all the injuries, right?
Yeah.
You lose Eloy Jimenez. You lose Luis Robert. This week you lose Nick Madrigal. And they just keep on winning, and that train keeps on rolling.
Yeah, and it's a 40-man unit, man. That's the motto that I understand what's going on the South Side in the clubhouse, that they say, hey, 40-man roster, 40-man up. Hey, next guy up, let's step up and get the job done. And the White Sox are certainly doing it with the sweep 4-1 victory over the Detroit Tigers at Comerica Park on this Sunday. And we almost witnessed another no-no. You and I witnessed the first no-no, I think April 14th over at, still call it Comiskey Park, but guarantee rate. That, of course, Carlos Rodon, nearly a perfect game, but he got a no-no. The 20th in White Sox history. He was close, very close to getting another one And unfortunately, that slider that was working like magic for him today, unfortunately, didn't get the call of the home plate umpire, man. Talk about that situation.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-2 count. It looked like he got the plate. And afterwards, when we had the chance to talk to Carlos after the game, he said he had a conversation with the umpire. And the umpire's like, look, I'm sorry, I missed that call. And Carlos' response was, you know what, hey, that happens. That's baseball. You're going to have those sort of situations. He said that the umpire did a great job calling balls and strikes all day long, and that was just one pitch that got away from him. And, obviously, it extended that at bat, and then Eric Hosmer was able to get the double there to break up that no-hit bid. But just as you said, that slider from first pitch on was lights out all day long, and that was the pitch that was working for him. He had really good fastball command as well. Obviously when you're in a no-hit type of situation, that's going to be the case. But he had everything working for him, and for a little while it looked like we were going to have a little more history there for the White Sox.
It's interesting, and the fact that you say history, Carlos Rodon was almost history. He was history in my book, maybe like 3 years ago, for sure. I thought the Sox were wasting their time on this guy because either he didn't have his stuff together or he was injured. And I just felt, enough is enough. It's not going to work for this guy. It's not going to happen for him, at least not here in Chicago on the South Side. But the White Sox, Kenny Williams, Rick Hahn, Jerry Reinsdorf, for that matter, they all had some type of faith and belief in this guy, and they stuck with him. And we know what happened prior to this campaign getting underway, and now things appear to be panning out for him, man. Isn't it surprising how the game works and how things operate?
I mean, you mentioned the injuries, and that was always the big thing. He said that this year was one of the first years in which he was able to enter spring training completely healthy, and he was in control, and working together with Ethan Katz has helped on out as well. And so just entering camp with a healthy mindset and ready to go, and it's paid off. I remember during spring training, Dallas Keuchel, obviously, Rodon had a really great spring training to win that 5th spot, because if you remember, I mean, when he entered camp, it was him or Ronaldo Lopez who were going to be that 5th starter, and Rodon went out, he won that 5th spot, and one of the things that Dallas Keuchel said during spring training was, hey, he looks like the Carlos Rodon that the White Sox thought they were getting when they drafted him. Number 3 overall pick at the time, and and then for him to back that up and not only continue the success that he had during spring training, but to build on that and have even greater success, the no-hitter, and then just outing after outing. I was really impressed with his previous outing against the Toronto Blue Jays. It was a really tough lineup. He went 5 innings, but he battled and he held that really tough Blue Jay lineup to 1 run. And I thought that was really impressive. Worked out of a number of jams. And he said after that game, it was a situation where, like in the past, he might have been knocked out after the 2nd inning, but he knew what to do when he was in those jams to get out of those jams. And so that's showing that maturity and growth in that pitcher, in someone in Carlos Rodon.
Hey, Lamont, this is Dan in the studio. How you doing?
Pretty good, Dan.
Yeah, good.
How are you?
There's a lot been made about, Tony La Russa last week passed McGraw, John McGraw for the 2nd place in MLB history. And I was thinking, there's been a lot made of his so-called gaffes with the, Mercedes hitting at 3-0 and putting the Hendricks at second base in the 10th inning and whatnot. But, isn't it like minor stuff? I think he's the man that's going to take him to the promised land, don't you?
Well, you don't hire a Tony La Russa unless you believe that you have enough talent to get to that next level, to get to that ultimate level, right? Here's someone who's won 3 World Series titles. Revolutionized working the way to work with a bullpen when he was with the Oakland A's, and so obviously just the resume speaks for itself. And it's a situation where with those incidents, like you said, the unwritten rules case with Mercedes. The thing with Hendricks as well. We had a chance to talk to Rick Hahn recently when they were out in Cleveland, and one thing he said, this team has been really good at just sort of blocking out those distractions, blocking out that noise, and just focusing on winning and playing good baseball. And you're seeing that night in and night out. As I said at the beginning, it's a amazing with all of the injuries that they've had, that they've been able to sustain the level and play at this sort of level that they've had. And then you add on top of it those distractions, some of those self-made distractions. They've been able to kind of overcome all of that and still have the record that they have right now, which is really impressive.
We're on with Lamont Pope. He's the Chicago White Sox beat reporter for your Chicago White Sox, Chicago Tribune. Hey, I wanted to ask you about that. See, as fans, when we take off, the media hat and you put on the fan hat, fans are just concentrating on wins and losses, and rightly so. I mean, that's what they do, and that's what we do, and that's what we should concentrate on. But when you take a closer look at this team, despite the poor decisions that were made and the disappointing things that have occurred in the first 60 games of this regular season, when you really peel back the onion, so to speak, and look at this team, is Tony La Russa close to, or how close do you think Tony La Russa is to really getting this clubhouse to buy into his philosophy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a case where these guys sort of, there's a number of veterans. There's enough veterans. There are enough leaders on this ball club that can kind of say, all right, we know what to do on a day in and day out basis. Put us in the position to win. Set up that lineup, get us coached on up, and we're going to go on out there and play our game. I mean, you talk about leaders in Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, with the pitching staff. You add in a Lance Lynn, who's been just phenomenal, right? I mean, that's been a big boost to their rotation. They knew that they needed that number 3 starter, and he's pitched like a number 1. I mean, he's been just lights out phenomenal. And then obviously at the back end of the bullpen, you add in a character like Liam Hendricks, who's just been, he's going to say some crazy things, but he's also going to go out there and perform like crazy as well. He's just been, almost automatic at the end of the bullpen. And so you get enough of those leaders in place, those guys you kind of build off of, and then you throw in some of the young guys and kind of learn off of that. It's almost like they're kind of just rolling from that standpoint. It's the leaders have stepped on up. They provided that the guidance for all the rest of the team, and the guys have just sort of followed suit.
Liam Hendricks, before we let you go, and we appreciate you spending some time after a great Chicago White Sox victory against the Detroit Tigers 4-1. Liam Hendricks, help me out here. I thought I heard an interview somewhere, and is he pretty heavy into like tarot cards and those sorts of belief things, that he really uses that in his day-to-day life? Have you heard about that?
Yeah, he is. I mean, like I said, he's a very unique individual. He's been a fascinating person to get to know.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing for us is that he really enjoys talking to the media as well, and so that's always a plus on our end as well.
Right.
But the other thing is also win or loss. Like the other day against the Tigers, he was out there talking about how he gave up the home run. So he's when he does well, he'll talk to us. When he doesn't do as well, he'll talk to us well. And so that's always something that you gain a great big bit of respect for. But overall, what he's been able to bring to the ball club, just solidifying that ninth inning spot. I mean, obviously, Alex Calme was great in that spot the last couple of years, but his swing and miss ability, the ability to get on the out of jams with strikeouts, that's something that's an added element, and that's what the team has been able to use and have a great deal of success there in that ninth inning.
You know what? He got his 17th save in the White Sox victory. There was a little controversy, though, the other night where he told the umpire, "We got to stop the game. It's pouring like cats and dogs out there." And he's like, "This ball, I can't throw with this ball. It's messed up." What was your position on that incident that took place?
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to him after the game, and what he said was that every ball that it was given, he said that the umpires where they had all the balls at was wet, and so every ball that he was given was wet, and he was concerned that he didn't know which way the ball was going to go if he threw one, and so he went to voice that and make that absolutely certain and clear that he's like, look, if I'm going to throw a pitch, I don't know where it's going, and that's not safe for me. That's not safe for the batter. And so let's get back to the dugout, and then let's get this. I know we want to get this game finished, but let's get back to the dugout, and then when it stops raining, let's conclude it.
Yeah, that was a professional move, I thought. And you know what? Whatever you need to do, whatever they need to do, 40 man up, 40 man, no, not 40 man down. We got too many guys going down. We need to get them back up. But hey, whatever they have to do to keep this train rolling, man, that's exactly what we want to do, man. Hey, Lamont, thank you so very much for taking. You better watch out, man. The train is coming. It's coming. The Sox train is rolling through, brother. Put your seatbelt on, get out of the way, and watch out, because this team, you're not old enough to remember the 1983 winning ugly team. I am. It's going to be uglier than that as far as the bats and what's going on with this pitching staff, man. But the train is rolling through. Lamont Pope, thank you so very much for taking time out on the Rewind Sports 60, brother.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
Take care.
We'll talk to you. Lamont Pope for Chicago Tribune. Chicago White Sox beat writer. You got to watch out, man.
Are those guys traveling with the team yet? The writers?
Well, he said they were in Cleveland.
Oh, but was he in Detroit today?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You should have asked him that.
I wanted to, but
But what?
he ran out of time.
Never. I know it's the fastest hour in sports conversation. It's the fastest hour in sports conversation. We'll get him back next week and we'll ask him. Okay. Sox train rolling through. You want to be a part of the Sox Nation, Sox train? Jump on right now. Our number is 773-763 WCPT 773-763. 9278. Real quick before we transition to our in-studio guest, I love this guy. He's fantastic, and he's certainly going to be a part of the Rewind Sports 60 team moving forward. I got a couple things I want to say. I want to say that happy birthday, belated birthday to my beautiful wife. And, of course, I can't give her her age, but she just celebrated her birthday on Thursday. And we had a pretty good time. My daughter Teresa did a lot to make my wife happy, and it was fun. We played golf. Buffalo Grove High School, they had their 26th annual golf outing on Thursday at the Buffalo Grove Golf Course over there on McHenry Road, and we played the foursome. It was a scramble and everything. Had a great time. And great to see some old faces, because my kids graduated from Buffalo Grove, my son and the girls, of course. So it was good to get over there and reminisce over some things. And then we took in dinner at a spot on Dempster in Evanston, Dempster and Clark, I think it is, or Main Street. Blind, I can't remember, Blind something restaurant, but it was really good. It was really good. But the highlight of my wife's birthday, it was a highlight for me too. It wasn't even my birthday, man. The Fight in the Illini, basketball. We know Kofi Coburn, right?
Yeah.
We know Io DeSumo, right?
Yeah.
What's that other the other big center who's roommates with Kofi? What's his name?
The one we can't pronounce?
Georgie Bishanavili.
Oh, there we go.
Georgie Bishanavili. My youngest daughter is going to senior year at the University of Illinois, and she's befriended Georgie Bishanavili.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what my wife woke up to. Not my ugly mug.
Right.
She does what people do nowadays. They get on their phone, the first thing they do, they wake up in the morning, they check.
Yeah.
This is what she woke up to.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, mama, mama, mama. Happy birthday to you. Hey, Mom, happy birthday. I want to wish you a lot of health, a lot of happiness, and a lot of love. Everything else will just fall in place just like it's supposed to, you know? Happy birthday. Wish you health. Smile. Enjoy your day. I know you're a huge fan, and now your daughter is a huge fan, and it's nothing but love. Happy birthday, baby.
I didn't like the fact he called my wife baby, but other than that, Georgia Bishanavili, this guy did this. My daughter got him to record that and send it to her. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the crowd was stunned. Georgie Bishanavili. Hey, Georgie, thank you so very much. That was very, very kind of you and very, very sweet of you.
I'm just stunned you're able to pronounce his name. Bezhanis.
Bashanavili. Georgie Bashanavili.
Yeah.
And I have to have my daughter tell him, I think he made a big mistake.
NBA.
By declaring going to the NBA this year. I think he needs one more year. But my understanding is that he needs to take care of his family, and he needs, I think, Georgie, you needed one more year at the University of Illinois, and good luck to you. God bless you. But I really believe he just needed one more year under his belt, and because Kofi became a national figure on the collegiate level, and he's only had 4 years of organized basketball play. Georgie was coming on. He certainly was coming on. I just felt he needed one more year. But thank you so very much for the birthday wish on behalf of my wife, and I appreciate my daughter doing it. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, it is the fastest hour in sports conversation. We're transitioning. We're switching up. And unfortunately, our next guest, he represents, because he's got on a Bulls baseball cap, and the Bulls are doing exactly the same thing that we're doing, the same thing that LeBron James is doing, sitting in front of their television monitors watching the NBA playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, he's in studio. He is the host of Rob's 2 Cents, the podcast. He's Robert Scott. Robert, what's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, Brother Jerry, Brother Marvelous? Hey. How's everybody feeling?
Hey, we feeling good. Both baseball teams are in first place. Actually, the Cubs, they need to win to stay at least tied for first place in the division, because of Milwaukee, and Chris Yelich is back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so, but we're feeling good because
on that train, right?
There you go, the train. There you go. Here it comes.
We on that train,
Here
right?
Here it goes, man. How are you?
You know I got to represent the South Side, so go Sox, go.
Hey, man. Hey, good to have you in. That train is coming, man. You better watch out. The Sox train. Jump on it right now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you. So is the Phoenix Suns.
Hey, man. So talk to us. Hey, so last time we had you on the air, you were on our TRS60 hotline, and you told us, and the listening audience, WCPT here in Chicago, and of course online, you said that you believe that Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks were going to upset and knock off the Brooklyn Nets. And I looked at you kind of cross-eyed.
You did.
Right?
You did.
Not because I had a drink or anything, but I was looking at you kind of cross-eyed, and I was like, you know what? With those 3 horses that they have in Brooklyn, I said, I just don't see it, because Giannis is the man, and he was taking too many wide perimeter three-point attempts as a big man instead of working down low. Jeff Van Gundy earlier this week said in order for the Milwaukee Bucks to be effective, they got to stop having Giannis shoot three-pointers.
They do.
And he's got to work interior. And so I didn't believe that the Milwaukee Bucks had a chance. And well, injuries, as they say, it's a part of the game.
Part of the game.
And the injury bug has certainly bitten the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
How do you see things?
Well, that injury bug has bit everybody in the NBA. I mean, I heard you guys talking about, the short season in baseball and how we're going into a regular season now, and there's a lot of injuries happening. That was the same case with the NBA. You look at, they played in the bubble, most of the great teams.
Right.
Then you only get, a 2-month layoff before you're right back into the thick of things playing a 72-game season. So you see all these teams getting hurt, and unfortunately, down the stretch, Brooklyn didn't make it.
Yeah.
You see James Harden hurt with that hamstring, and now Kyrie's out. He left with 6 minutes left in the second with a high ankle sprain. So now he rolled that ankle pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was a pretty. I'm looking at the replay. It almost looked like he skinned Giannis' foot.
Right.
He didn't completely land on it, and he put most of the weight on his ankle. And it's just not looking good. You saw him writhing in pain, slapping the court. So now you're asking KD, who, unfortunately, if we look at KD's history, he's never had to play on a bad team.
Right.
It's easy to be a sniper when you got other snipers on the team. Hey, we see today, Kyrie leaves, KD is 9 for 25?
Yeah.
Only 28 points?
Yeah.
That's a tall task.
You're right. It's unbelievable. They ended the season on October 11th, and they started up again around Christmas. So there really wasn't much of a season for the teams
At
that got
all.
to the finals.
Right.
At all. And now you asking guys to play in the Olympics after this season. That's a lot of basketball.
It is. It is a lot of basketball. Jalen Rose said in the post game comments after the loss of the Milwaukee Bucks knocking off the Brooklyn Nets to tie the series up at 2 games apiece. But Jalen Rose said, "Hey, you know what? Tuesday night, Game 5." KD's got to come out. He's got to bust at least 40 points.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to bust at least 40 points.
Right now, he has the greenest of green lights. If I'm Steve Nash, I'm telling, hey, if you don't shoot the ball, I'm gonna bench you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he certainly has to step up. Now, Kyrie, that injury, it was bad. I don't know if you ever had a sprained ankle.
Oh, I
You've
have.
come down. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just recently, a couple years ago, had ankle surgery because I had a ankle injury similar to that when I was a young buck, such as yourself.
Yeah.
And I never really took care of it properly the way that I should have. And over the years, the grind and the time, I ended up developing arthritis and a cyst in my ankle. So I just recently had surgery, and I'm like 100% now. I'm new. So what I'm saying to you is that those sorts of injuries like that, and we saw what happened with LeBron James with his injury. Those are lingering things that don't happen, to heal overnight.
It's not a quick fix.
Not at all. Not at all. And of course, with the hamstring with James Harden, I pulled my hamstring when I was 36 years of age. I know what happened because I never had any sort of injuries like that before. But once I pulled my hamstring at the age of 36, it's never been the same. So for James Harden, and a lot of people are speculating that he was dogging it, at the early part of the season, not, because he's trying to force this deal, and now it's catching up to him. But those 2 injuries, they're not something that you can just nurse for a couple of days and you back to 100%. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Nets respond to this.
Yeah, like I said, right now KD has a lot to prove. He's been wanting that title of best player in the league, best player in the world. It's time you show up now because the GOATs, that's what they do. They show up in the worst of times. So let's see if KD can earn that Instagram name, Easy Money Sniper. Let's see how much of a sniper you are.
Well, he's a
deadly guy. He's a deadly guy. Just talking with one of my cousins, he brought up an interesting point. He's always had MVP type caliber players as teammates.
Sure.
You look at the original OKC, you have James Harden, you have Russell Westbrook, you have a Jeff Green on that team, you have a Ibaka on that team.
Right.
And then you transition to the Warriors, you playing with a guy who was unanimous MVP.
Right.
And then you come over here to Brooklyn, and now you have Kyrie, you have James Harden. So he's never really had to play without, probably since his rookie year. So it's now we get to see, how bad.
You mean kind of like LeBron, right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? But the difference is LeBron took that Cleveland team to the finals. I don't know how.
Yeah,
I challenge people. Name me 3 people from that 2018. That 2016, 17.
Here's the thing, Robert. You mentioned the Olympics.
Yeah.
I've been confused about that for a while.
Yeah.
Because the Olympics starts July 23rd.
Yes.
And the NBA Finals end July 22nd.
Yes.
So, do they have a team? Who's on the team? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't know who's on the roster. Steph Curry just came out and said that he don't think that he's going to play.
Right.
LeBron most likely is not going to play. We know AD is not going to play. So, I mean, we're talking maybe C, D team.
Yeah, it's going to be second tier players who. Yeah.
I mean, they named in March. They put the players that were on the list, but none of them. I mean, some of them are still playing.
Right.
Conley and others.
And some of these players are a little older, so that's a tall task.
Yeah.
Being 25 in the NBA is different from being 25 on the street.
Yeah.
You think? Hey man, so as far as these playoffs are concerned, it's a wide open shoot now because at the start of the playoffs, a lot of the pundits, many of us thought that it was going to boil down between the Los Angeles Lakers and of course the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened. AD went out and LeBron took a bow. You see now what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to take your hat off and say kudos to Chris Paul. That dude, let me tell you something. I don't think it's going to happen. But I would love for that brother.
Me too.
I would love for him to get an NBA championship. And he is doing what he's expected to do, man.
34 assists. in the 3 games against Denver.
Yeah.
And only 3 turnovers. 34 assists. Remember game 2, 17 points, 15 assists, no turnovers.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Right.
And guess what?
What?
Nobody had did that since him.
Right.
He did it back in 2014 when he was with the Clippers. So we're talking about the point god,
right?
As we like to call Chris Paul.
Yeah,
just amazing. You know, he always had that injury bug looming over his head, always getting injured in the postseason. So, you know, we were a little nervous watching him against the Lakers with that shoulder, but he seems to be getting back in form, and just the impact that he's had on this Phoenix Suns team. Remember, Phoenix went undefeated in the bubble. They were 1 leader away. Right. You bring in Chris Paul, we go from not even making the playoffs to number 2 in the West.
Right.
Go ahead, CP3.
God bless him. I hope they do. And you know, for the simple fact, you got the commercial like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. I like the new commercials that they have where he's with what's old girl's name? The WNBA chick from. Did she play at Notre Dame or something? You don't know.
I know exactly that. Kobe's girl.
Exactly. But those are cool commercials. But one, they turn into a cardboard, printout, and then the other one he turns into a basketball. Those are pretty cool
and
commercials.
He's bringing his kids along.
Yeah, he certainly
had his
is.
daughter, his son, in the commercials.
I love it.
Chris Paul. Which State Farm commercial is better? Are we liking Cliff, or are we liking the discount double check?
Ladies and gentlemen, he's Robert Scott. He's host of the podcast Rob's 2 Cent, joining us on our not on the TR60 hotline. He's in studio talking NBA playoffs.
I was going to ask you about MVP Nikola Jokic. What do you think about that? And he had that 32-point, 20-rebound, 10-assist game, and Will Chamberlain's the only other one that's done that.
The first time since Shaquille O'Neal. Is that crazy?
Crazy.
And they might be swept.
You know what though? They just happen to be going against a juggernaut. You know, the Phoenix Suns right now, just on a different level. They're just missing Jamal Murray. That's a tall task to ask of Jokic. He's been having a great series. I mean, the guy almost averaged a triple-double during the season. Right. You know, bringing Shaq to tears, saying, "You have bought the big man back, brother." You know, Jokic, the Joker, that's a bad man. And you know what? Denver is going to be a very tough team for years to come, especially adding Aaron Gordon. You're going to get Jamal Murray back if they're able to keep Will Barton healthy. They have a nice nucleus over there. You have Monte Morris coming off the bench. That's a great team over there. Don't sleep on Denver. Just right now, they've lost too much against a team that's streaking. And ironically, they name are the Suns.
Exactly. What do you think about Utah, the Jazz? I mean, hey, man.
Utah has been doing their thing, but I worry now. Have you waken up the beast? Right. Because the Clippers right now, I mean, that game 3 turnaround, Kawhi going, he had 30 points. Paul George, 31 points. They both shooting over 50%. When those two guys go off together and Paul George is playoff P instead of pandemic P. Right.
But that's been the knock against those two guys is that when the bright lights are on, they ain't stepping up. But they've shown lately that they have it.
Is Rondo in the doghouse? I haven't seen too much of Rondo.
You know, that's a good question. I don't think he's in the doghouse. I just think it hasn't panned out that he's going to make his appearance, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
We were all ready for playoff Rondo. And we've gotten playoff Reggie. Look at Reggie Jackson looking like Mr. October, right?
Mr. October and June.
Now.
Exactly.
You know, Reggie Jackson has been putting on a display with those timely 3-pointers he's hitting. He has the Clippers playing pretty good right now, and they are relying on his scoring.
Sure.
They are.
You know, it's interesting. It's refreshing again, Rob, before we spring you on this, but it is refreshing that it's wide open, man.
It is.
You really don't know who's going to represent the East and the West in the NBA Finals, man.
Because you can't forget about Philly either.
My
a
God.
7-foot monster over there who's just going to work with game 2, 40 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, Joel Embiid. That's a big man.
That boy shooting like 85% from the free throw line, right?
It's like Shaq and Dirk Nowitzki had a baby.
Whoa! Man, I'm telling you, these playoffs have been exciting, and again, it is refreshing because it's not designed for the Lakers to be there, and it's, of course it's not designed now for the Big Three in Brooklyn to be there. It's an open field, to be honest with you.
It's a breath of fresh air.
It is,
because normally we by the time March, April comes, we know who's going to win.
Right.
This year you don't know. It's hard to predict. You can go in and say, oh man, Nets in 4, and we look at even Boston gave them a little fight.
Yeah.
With all the things that they lost. So
see you later, Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge, take care of yourself. You lying dog. I've never heard that before. In 20-something years here, I've never heard anything racial. I've never heard that before. Get your ass out of here.
Yeah, it's like he had to gracefully bow out.
Now Brad Stevens gets to pick a coach.
I know, right?
Get the Top 2 Cents podcast. If they want to find out where you are, what do they need to do?
All you have to do is look up the boy Rob's 2 Cents. That's ROBS, the number 2, CENTS. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Check the podcast out on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, baby. I'm everywhere. It's the boy that's hot, the boy Rob Scott.
Hey, man, our goal for you, I know Jason Goff.
Miranda there.
I know Jason Goff over at NBC Sports Chicago. He does the pre and post for the Chicago Bulls during the season. Of course, Kendall Gill and everything. You know what? I'm going to see if I could. Well, I have to probably beg Jason, but I'm going to see if I can talk to him and say, he give you a cameo or something on the show next season, man.
Brother Wiles, that's why I love you so much, brother. I appreciate you. And thank you guys for having me.
Hey, Rob, you're the best, brother, and we keep following you and want to make sure that brand continues to grow, man. Real quick, stand up and show your shirt real quick so people can see it.
Yeah.
Devin, you got to look at it. Devin, you got to show. There you go.
Get a zoom in.
He got his own personalized shirt and everything. A brand, man, it's a beautiful thing. Rob's 2 Cents, baby. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take some time before we're out of here. It is the fastest hour in sports conversation. If you miss any portion of the broadcast, it's up on our Facebook page, of course, WCPT 820, and of course the Rewind Sports 60 on YouTube. But I have to say that the Rewind Sports 60 debuted in the August or September of 2015, and we've been grinding. We've been doing a heck of a job. We've been doing a lot. We continue to grow, and we continue to improve, and we continue to expand and give you what we believe. And our motto is real sports, real talk, just plain real. I want to say to all of you out there listening, and please spread the news. Like my good friend Frank Sinatra, start spreading the news. The Rewind Sports 60 is expanding and growing. We officially launch on Roku channel tomorrow night, June 14th at 10 p.m. Again, the Rewind Sports 60 brand launch our new channel on Roku tomorrow, Monday, June 14th at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you make a note of that. You'll be able to get the app on any of your smartphone devices, Android, Apple. You'll be able to get it on your smart TV, ladies and gentlemen. The Rewind Sports 60. We're going global. You think Jeff Bezos got something on us because he's got a rocket and he's going to space for 11 minutes with his brother and a few other friends? Well, we're blasting off too. We launch the Rewind Sports 60 on Roku, our own channel, 24/7. Do you understand? 24 hours, 7 days a week for eternity.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Rob, we want you to be a part of it.
I'm humbled to be a
Rob
part of
2
that
Cents.
journey. Yes, sir.
Marvelous. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, put me in, coach.
So we certainly want you to make note of that. It's a very, it is a proud moment. It certainly is. And we hope that we, over the years, have represented, and again, our motto is real sports, real talk, just plain real. And we continue to bring it real. You might not like it. It's okay. It's a big world out there. And there are between 6 and 8 billion people on this planet, I believe, something like that. So we can't please everybody, and the truth hurts. So when we bring it to you and we bring it the way that we do, you may like it, you may not like it, but it's there for you to decide and Figure it out on your own. But the Rewind Sports 60, we are proud to say that we're launching on Roku televisions all across, not only the country. There are 75 million people signed up with Roku. 75 million people. That's in the United States. When we talk internationally across the globe, the numbers triple. So we're looking for an exciting time, and I just have to say I'm ecstatic, I'm elated, and I am just simply ready to go, baby.
Okay.
Ready to go, baby. Hey, on behalf of our the marvelous one.
Hey, I wanted to mention, speaking of Joker, hats off to Novak Djokovic, who won his 19th major today in tennis.
Wow.
Really?
He was down 2 sets. It was a 4-hour match. It was beautiful. And then I wanted to also mention that Coach K retired and local favorite John Shire took over. We should get him on the air with our contacts with Dave Weber.
He's the marvelous one, Dan Marver. Robert, thank you so very much for coming in. Rob 2 cents. And, of course, to our executive producer, Devin Tingo, on behalf of the entire staff here at WCPT, yours truly, Jerry Riles, saying have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the week. We'll see you next Sunday. Roku channel, The Rewind Sports 60. Launches Monday, the 14th, 10 p.m. Take care, everybody.
Justin, congratulations. Welcome to Chicago.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I imagine these last 3 months have been exhausting for you in a lot of ways. I'm sure you probably haven't been through a process that has been so microanalyzed in terms of picking apart your skill set, your strengths, your weaknesses. I'm curious, what of the criticisms over the last 3 months sort of impacted you the most, and how you kind of dealt with that over the last 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of criticism, but me, at the end of the day, I feel like I know, myself. I know how much work I put in the game. I know how much I love the game. I know how much I want to be great. So, it just comes a point in time where you just have to cut, all that criticism out. And of course, it's good to listen to the criticism you get from, people that are, actually there to help you. So if it was from a coach or anything like that, of course, I'm going to take that criticism. But I feel like, of course, there's a lot of, criticism coming from outside voices that didn't really matter. So I just, did my best to kind of cut all that out and really just get to work. So
what was tonight like for you, just sitting through those first 10 picks before you got the call at 11?
I'm the kind of guy that thinks that everything happens for a reason. So I think, this is God's plan for me to be a Bear. So I'm more than excited, and I'm, more than ready to get up there for sure.
Pat Finley, Chicago Sun-Times.
Hey, Justin, how did you find out that you were going to the Bears? What was that phone conversation like? And during the pre-draft process, did you have any hints that this might have been the outcome?
Yeah, so basically, Coach Nagy called me up and just asked me if I was ready to be a Chicago Bear, and I told him, of course. I mean, so of course the phone call went well. Coach Nagy's a great coach. He's a great person. I got to build a sort of a relationship with him these past couple of months. But just talking with him a little bit, getting to know him, and then of course going back to hints. I don't think I had any hints. I had no idea, to be honest with you. So I was confident, in myself. I guess to wherever I ended up, I was gonna, be in the right place for me. So again, I'm excited.
Adam Hogue, NBC Chicago.
Justin, what can you tell us about, you mentioned building that relationship with Coach Nagy. What was it, over Zoom calls? At your pro day, any interactions? Can you be a little bit more specific about all that?
Yeah, I would say most of it was during Zoom calls. Of course, we did, have a little bit of conversation at my pro day, but most of it, through Zoom calls, and it's just, of course, just talking and, getting to know him, not only as a coach but as a person. So I'm pretty big on, having great relationships with my coaches. I think that's the most effective way to be great and kind of be cooperative as a team. So just mainly through Zoom and a little bit at my pro day.
What's up, Lauren? How are you? We talked about the Bulls, the Black.